We are joined now by two of the best-known political journalists in our state who have been covering the Dodd situation. Rick Green from the Hartford Courant and Mark Pasniokis from the New York Times, also known as Paz. More importantly, though, Mark is from my hometown of Norwood, Massachusetts, where we're both from. Grew up reading the Norwood Times, which is now gone, sadly.
And I worked for them.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
I haven't had good runs with newspapers lately.
The one time I made the honor roll, I was in that newspaper. So first of all, let's start with Rick. What did you think of Ambassador Foley?
Well, as we were just saying, I think if you're going to take on Chris Dodd, you got to be a strong, aggressive personality, and I think you got to come out swinging.
Yeah, he did not want to attack him.
He seemed a little reticent, but it's early. That's the first time I'd ever laid eyes on the guy. So maybe this is how you ease into it, but I don't think you do it tentatively.
Mark?
Personally.
I mean, I've actually met him before, but I think the first impressions that people will have is that he's cut from the cloth of the old-style Republican candidates for United States Senate. And those tended to be gentlemen of means who would be recruited to run because of the money they could bring to the table. Now, this year is going to be a little bit different. There's 3 gentlemen at least, there may be more before we're done, who are interested, 2 of whom have electoral experience, one of whom, Rob Simmons, actually served in the Congress. So this is going to be a very different kind of dynamic, and if Mr. Foley wants to play, he's going to have to decide he really wants to play.
He's going to throw some red meat out there.
I think so.
And, you know, I mean, both of you have been talking to the voters, very angry out there. Are they going to want to see some more substance, some more, red meat, so to speak?
Well, we were just saying before we came on the air that you're going to have someone who really presents a clear contrast to Chris Dodd. Otherwise, I think the fact that you have a long-term senator is going to overshadow whoever the challenger is. You got to have strong positions, and you got to look good, and you got to know where you're headed, I think.
And there is some history of having generational differences as well. I'm thinking, Chris Murphy, who beat Nancy Johnson. Mrs. Johnson had come across as, I think, a little tired, a little past her prime in the Congress. Murphy showed a clear contrast to that, very energetic, and also clear contrast in the politics. The Republican field so far is kind of a mixed bag that way. Sam Caligiuri, the state senator from Waterbury, is very young. Rob Simmons is actually a year or 2 older than Senator Dodd. So
not exactly a new face. Yeah. I mean, are there any other names we haven't heard yet who may jump into this race? Maybe some state lawmakers we aren't thinking of, or.
Well, we know that the cable guy took himself out.
Larry Kudlow is out. He is out.
Right.
Kevin O'Connor's taken himself out.
Right. Although, as Paz was saying, someone like Kevin O'Connor would present the kind of contrast, I think, that we're talking about here. Not a couple of old guys, but a young, more dynamic candidate.
He says definitely no way he wants to be in the private sector for a while. He's got 4 children.
Right. And Kudlow, to be honest, was never serious. Yeah. I mean, that was something he had some fun with. And as far as anybody else, I mean, I think there were people wondering if John McKinney, the state Senate minority leader, would throw his hat in, but I've talked to him, and so far he does not appear interested.
What's the latest someone could get into this race? I know that Chris Healy had said he wanted a candidate by March. Now he may have a few of them. But can someone wait till the fall to see how this thing plays out?
I think so. The Republicans are going to have to sort this out, and it's not going to be high profile. Unfortunately, money will be part of it. Who can raise money? Who can show some credibility? That is the oldest and still important yardstick for these guys to use. Somebody like Mr. Foley will have to do some more events like this, give people a sense that he's good on camera, that he can mingle with the public. He's up against a former 3-term congressman and a state senator who each have a lot more political experience. It doesn't mean he can't do it. A guy named Ned Lamont went pretty far without any significant experience either.
The recent editorials have been pretty harsh. This one was particularly scathing from the New Haven Register. We are not going to mince words. Senator Dodd is a lying weasel. I mean, that was brutal. How do you recover from that? I mean, New Haven, a very democratic city, but people are reading that paper. Where do they go from there? What do the voters think? Too harsh?
I've been a little critical of Senator Dodd. I mean, that's ridiculous, I think, to be going that far. I mean, we don't know that he's a lying weasel.
No.
It's a distraction, I think, an editorial like that, personally.
That line will be in a commercial. We don't know he's a lying weasel. That's a good...
Yeah.
Now, a gentleman named Rick Green wrote this. Some Republicans said privately that they believed Mr. Dodd would eventually yield the Democratic nomination. Oh, no, this is you, Mark. To Attorney General Richard Blumenthal. Do you believe that he's not going to run? And I know, Rick, in your column, you said that he should not run in 2010. Why is there always so much confusion when we ask Senator Dodd to explain there is no coming back from this manure storm even a year and a half before the election? What do you think? Does he decide not to run at the end?
Well, that was, you know, I'm a columnist. I'm taking an opinion there. I think the danger is that he does grave damages to the Democrats' chance with these series of falls that keep continuing. So,
you know, and you tap into the fear of these Democrats because many have said that the senator should do what's best for the party, much like he endorsed Ned Lamont over Joe Lieberman a couple years ago.
But there's to be honest, there's a lot of time for him before he hurts the party. And Dodd is somebody who I think will be concerned about not leaving the party in the lurch in Washington or in Connecticut because Dick Blumenthal is eagerly waiting in the wings. Dodd has the luxury of time. He can let this play out for the rest of the year, see if he can turn these poll numbers around, and then make a decision. He really is not under pressure to do something now. His poll numbers among Democrats are still in the 70s. So unlike Joe Lieberman, he has no vulnerability within the party, at least nothing that's shown up yet.
Mark and Rick will be right back with more from these gentlemen in just a moment, and we'll read some of your emails coming up. And we are now on Facebook. Face the State has its own page. You can sign up and find out what's coming up and talk politics. We'll be right back.
The hottest new Volkswagen yet. The all-new CC, priced for the people. Let's go to the clip. You've got the elegant curves to stop traffic and the German engineering to speed past it. And you even come with 3 years of no-charge scheduled maintenance. If I didn't know better, I'd think you're trying to upstage me.
For a limited time, lease a 2009 CC with manual transmission for only $289 a month. Legendary Volkswagen value. It's what the people want.
Does your family's dental care schedule look like this? With everyone going to a different practice? It's time to start going to Columbia Dental, where we have every dental specialist in one group. Columbia Dental provides your entire family with the best care for every dental procedure. And because Columbia Dental has every dental specialist, we consistently beat our competitors on cost. All the right dentists are right here at Columbia Dental in Manchester, Hartford, Rocky Hill, and at columbiadental.com.
Now introducing Jaguar Hartford, Connecticut's new exclusive Jaguar dealership with a large selection of new and select edition pre-owned Jaguars. Experience our service from 14 professionals with over 240 combined years of Jaguar experience. Extraordinary savings on new 2008 Jaguars and loaner models with interest rates as low as 0% on select 2009s. Our service department is open from 7 in the morning until 6 at night. Visit us at 133 Leeward Road, exit 33 off I-91 North, right at the ramp, or JaguarHartford.com.
CBS Tonight.
Thailand. Woo!
It's heart racing.
Tiger. Just pick this. Yes. Very fast.
I'm sorry, I can't run anymore.
Heartbreaking.
You have incurred 2 penalties.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we could end up never finding this thing.
We lost.
And heart-stopping.
Mom.
A new amazing race, CBS Tonight.
Welcome back to Face the State. Now, much like 2006, it seems like this Senate battle is kind of good for Governor Rell and not good for the Democrats. A lot of Democrats are complaining that they're not getting any attention because of this whole Senate thing. And this could carry on for some time, which is basically what happened in 2006. The Senate race was the dominating political story that year. Do you think it's going to happen again?
Well, it seems to be headed that way, doesn't it, Dennis? I mean, I think what Senator Dodd is hoping for is a period of calm and stability here, right? And so that before the Republicans get their act together, he can right his ship, so to speak. It wouldn't suggest that that's going to happen, right? It seems like we just keep...
But you're right. And even if there's a hard-fought Republican primary on the Senate side, that also goes to Governor Rell's benefit because whoever her Democratic opponent will be, they're going to be competing for airtime, for newspaper space, and for money. Although money... They won't be competing for money because of public financing on the state races, not on the Senate.
Right. Do you think that she'll just like stay in the situation she's right now and not announce for a while? I mean,
it seems
there's
like,
no benefit to do it. I mean,
it seems that way, doesn't it? I mean, what have you heard, Paz? It's.
I talked to her today. I ran into her, and she's keeping her own counsel.
Yeah,
and
the holding pattern is good.
She's at 75% approval rating. She has the luxury of waiting, and if by chance she decides she doesn't want to run, you want to wait as long as possible, because without a Republican legislature to back her, she will be a very lame duck very quickly.
Yeah.
The most recent round of polling by QU on Senator Dodd was done before this AIG story, so is it safe to presume that perhaps the next round of polling might even be worse than the last one?
I mean, I think even with his subsequent explanations of, was it last Friday, a week ago, he still doesn't look good in that whole, out in that whole mess. So I don't see it improving.
Daily Kos did their own poll, and they had him a little bit better. They had him 5 points ahead of Simmons in a head-to-head. But, I mean, the senator, as I wrote a week ago, the senator desperately needs to change the subject. That is one of the hardest things to do in politics. The public has a very funny way of deciding what they want to hear about and what they want to read about. But he needs to do what he did a week ago, appear on or so on your show. Be on, let people remember the things they liked about him, and hope that this stuff dies down. It's hard. It's really hard to know. I mean, you wonder now if he had to do it over again, because he was not only was he in position to take over the Senate Banking Committee, but with Senator Biden moving up to vice president, he was in position to be the Senate Foreign Relations chairman. He would have been out of this.
Yeah. And I think, as Mark said, the way he handled it last week is the way he should have handled things last summer with the whole countrywide fiasco of, coming out, talking to reporters as long as they want to talk, not kind of dodging and seeming like he's hiding things. Maybe if he handles things like he did, say, last Friday, that'll put him on the right track.
And the thing you have to remember is, you get into the dynamic of a campaign where it's not abstract. It will be Dodd, if he stays in. Dodd versus Simmons or Caligiuri or Foley. People make their comparisons differently. It's a very direct comparison, as opposed to, oh, we don't like what this guy's saying and doing right now.
Well, the Senate story will be keeping us busy for the next year. It's always good to have a good Senate race, because we had some boring ones for a while until
let's hope so.
came along. Rick Green from the Hartford Current, Mark Pasniokis, formerly of the Current, now with the New York Times. Congrats on that, by the way. Nice to see you back.